Should I have saved this for Halloween? Nah, it's creepy no matter what time of year it is. Transquito is a very love or hated figure. While I don't love him, the fact that Hasbro had the audacity to use one of the most pestilent, disease-ridden bugs on the planet makes him intriguing to say the least. Chances are it's also why he warmed shelves for so long. Transquito is a Voyager or Mega class figure. Though the main body is more of a deluxe, his excessively long legs, as they are on a real mosquito, make this thing feel huge. Like a lot of bug bots, they don't support him that well on their own, unless you follow Fel's Dragon's advice of rotating these panels so the ball joints face forward. That or the old superglue trick. His color scheme is alright. I know some aren't fond of the lavender, but to me a completely brown toy, fitting or not, would have been beyond boring. Fortunately, the level of molded detail makes up for it. You have compound eyes, antenna, the missile forms as proboscis, the wings are translucent as always, the abdomen is segmented, and I'm guessing those etches are meant to evoke bristles. Underneath you have this red gradient effect. When female mosquitoes prey, you can literally see the blood they suck inside. Trust me, I've seen the videos. Articulation-wise, the antenna and legs, of course, are on ball joints. I dare not move the former in case they snap. Pulling this switch on his back makes his wings flap, and each wing itself is on a hinge. Believe it or not, my main gripe with this toy is just how cheap it feels. The plastic is not exactly knockoff quality, but it's somewhere in the ballpark. This mode in particular isn't terribly solid. There's only one peg holding each arm in place, and they didn't even try to hide the hands. A shame for what is otherwise one of the more unique alternate modes of the entire franchise. The second wave of Beast Wars Megas were triple changes. Transquito has a battle platform mode, which Fel's Dragon likened to an Amplipogid. As if this toy didn't look freaky enough. I'm sure you can guess what this does. There's even space for a basic class figure to man this station. It's also where his Energon chip is located. When going back to beast mode, to get his robot head / proboscis to lock, you have to pull down until you hear a... Otherwise, this thing will activate on a hair trigger. Seriously, why did it have to be spring-loaded? I concur with a lot of fans that, like the first Transmetals, Transquito in this mode looks more organic than robotic, especially since most of the details from Beast Mode carry over. Granted, other bug bots like Waspinator have those insectoid heads, but between that, the webbed hands, and his ability to barf laser beams, you know, for kids, this guy feels like an homage to David Cronenberg's take on The Fly. Transquito has 17 points of articulation. That includes his head if you move it past that collar piece. Posability in general is okay, though the wings, forearm kibble, and lack of heel spurs can cause balance issues. This figure proves that hollow parts date further back than you'd think. See how these flex a little? That's why I say the plastic feels cheap. He feels brittle every time I handle him. And this is assuming he doesn't suffer from gold plastic syndrome. Call it a hunch, but I don't think Hasbro could ever release something like this today. With such lifelikeness to the actual insect, on top of the other weird shit, we have ourselves one of the most interesting yet disturbing Transformers of all time. Despite this potential coolness factor, I'd rank him much higher if the plastic was sturdier. I don't know if the repaint Big Moss fixes that issue, but I have a better question. How the hell does this pass for a good guy?